pretty heavy. Now can I try? What is this?
So this is an old fire pump.
Welcome to Alex Kids Fun! Welcome to Alex Kids Fun! Today we are at the Colwood Fire Station and we're starting with the museum. Follow us in! Oh, the hoses! Let's meet Mike, who will be giving us a tour today.
Hi there.
This is an old fire pump.
For a lake or something that we needed to get water from, we would be able to put these hose lines into the lake and extract the water from the lake into the fire pump and then give us water outside of our hose line.
So what is this?
It looks like it may have just contained water inside of it for Class A fires only. Well, what we do now is we fill up the tank with a little bit of water, and then we put a little bit of foam inside of it, which helps displace the oxygen inside the fuel and smother a fire. And then we add a bit of air in it so it gets its pressure, and then we can use that fire extinguisher on any Class A fire. But that's an old one, so it's just for show, but we have some new ones I can show you when we pull up one of the trucks over there.
And are those behind you different models of the fire trucks?
Yeah, so I don't believe these are anything that we had, but just pictures of older fire trucks.
What is this?
So this is an old fire pump that we typically hook up to, well nowadays we hook it up to a truck, but this could have been hooked up to even a horse back in the day or like a little tractor or something. So this pump is used for like wildland fires or brush fires. We could just hook it up to a truck and we can tow it to a source of where we can get water, which we'd use this hard suction for again. And then we would pump water into the pump and then we can essentially get water to our hose lines for a wildfire. So there's lots of different diameters of hose, and it just depends on the fire you go to and how much water you need. So we have some small 1.5" hose line, and then we have some 2.5" hose line. And then typically the 2.5" hose line, bigger fire where we need more water on.
Mean anything like a higher rank?
Yeah, so firefighters typically wear a yellow hat. So at Colwood we wear yellow helmets at Colwood for firefighters, and then officers, so lieutenants or captains, they would wear a red helmet, and then the fire chiefs would wear a white helmet.
What about the like black and gray colored helmets?
Yeah, so those could just be older helmets that they used back in the day, but we don't have those colors right now. So right now we just have the yellow, the red, and the white.
What would this winch be used for?
Yeah, so that winch could either be used for us helping a vehicle that's been stuck, so we can maybe tow a vehicle out with that winch, or if we get stuck, say in the dirt or whatever, then we'd be able to pull ourselves out with that winch.
What are the 5 most important fire safety tips?
Yeah, so I'd say the most important one would be at a young age to make sure that you know what fire does and what could start fire, and then make sure you have an adult around if you're ever going to use fire. If you're in a building that's on fire, you'll want to, first off, if you're in a bedroom, make sure your door's closed, and that way no smoke or heat can come into your bedroom. You'll want to stay low, and then maybe if you have a blanket or something, put it underneath the door so no smoke or fire can come under the door. And you'll want to stay low, so if you ever have to get out of a house, you want to stay low, crawl under the smoke so you don't breathe it in, and get out to your nearest point where you guys have maybe set up a emergency muster station at your house. So you all meet up when there's a fire or an emergency outside the house, and then you make sure that everybody's counted for and safe.
And have you ever needed to use this winch before?
I have not, no, and I have not used the winch on either of our new trucks either.
So you've never used the winch?
I've used a winch before, but not on our trucks.
Oh.
We haven't been able to use them. We haven't needed to use them for anything. Just a collection of old fire patches from other departments.
Day 2 at the fire station today. They had an emergency last time. Now we're gonna learn about more modern fire trucks.
Yeah, this is our engine. This carries water on it. And I'll explain everything. Lines, so they're 1 3/4 in diameter, and we have 150 feet and 200 feet. So pre-connected means that they're already connected to the outlet, the discharge outlet, where we would get water from the tank or the hydrant. So in a firefighting situation, all we have to do is grab the nozzle of the hose, and we put our arm through this loop, and we grab the nozzle. We can take that hose right out, and we can charge the line and be ready for water right away.
What is this for?
So we carry foam on the truck also. So foam is an agent we use for, we have Class A foam, which is for the typical wood fires or cardboard or paper and stuff like that. And the foam will smother the fire and put a blanket over it. We eliminate the oxygen in the fire and put the fire out. So the foam just helps with any kind of larger fire like that. And we have the Class B foam, which is for flammable liquids, so like gasoline and diesel and all those. So again, it puts a blanket over that and then extinguishes the fire by removing the oxygen from it. So these are called the spreaders. So if we ever have a car accident and we need to open a door or something rather, then we can pull these out quickly. And these are battery operated, so we'll just open them up. So then we can open the door up, or we can open anything up. It's also got cutters on it. So if we ever had to cut anything, like the door off of a car or something else, then we can close it on that and cut it. And so we have our cutoff saws. These are gas-powered cutoff saws. So this one would be good for cutting through, say, like a steel door on a garage. If we can't get into a burning house or something and we got to get in through the garage, we could cut the door out with this. So that's what that blade would be good for. And then we have another cutoff saw with kind of a multi-blade on it, so it's good for cutting concrete if we had to cut any concrete out of the ground. Still good for metal, but it's more of like a demolition blade, and it will cut much more material than metal. This hose is for if we ever had to go into a mid-rise fire. We call them mid-rise fires. So anything over 3 stories we consider a mid-rise. So say a condo building that's like 6 stories high. If we ever had to go to fight a fire in there, we would take this hose with us. And inside those buildings there's what we call standpipes. So there's water connected to these pre-connected standpipes inside the building. And we can connect these hoses right to the standpipes, and we can go down the hallways or in whichever unit we need to go into. Lots of tools on there. So we got this is called our irons kit. That's just a name that they've made up a long time ago. So it's considered of an axe, and this is called a halligan. So we typically use that to get into a door that's locked. If we don't have a key to get in and we need to get in right away, then we typically use the halligan and the axe, and we force the door. So kind of break the door to get in. We have an axe, just a typical axe here. And then on this side, we have other tools. We have a sledgehammer. So we have a sledgehammer, and then this is called a trash hook, kind of a demolition tool here, and another axe. So we can use this pick head to get into a roof if we have to make a hole. It kind of just as a point to start where we need to make a hole, right?
It makes sense if you need to go through the roof, because what happens if all the doors to get in are hot, so fire's behind, and then the windows, that room is on fire.
Right, plumbing to the truck, you could say. So the water in the truck, we have 500 gallons of water in the tank, and if we needed to hook up to one of these, we would get water out of these discharges. So we could either take this cap off and use our smaller hose, or we could take this bigger cap off, and we have our 2.5-inch hose we could hook up to this, and that's how we would get water from the tank to our hose line to put the fire out.
So different sizes of them give different amounts of water?
That's correct, yeah. So our 4-inch. This would be called 4-inch. This is our discharges for the 4-inch. This would be lots of water coming out. Lots of water, big fire. And then our suction, these are called our suction. So this is our intake. So if we ever were to get water from the fire hydrant, we would hook up to the fire hydrant, and then we'd hook up to this intake right here, and we would get water from the hydrant back into the truck. So in turn we could get it out of our hose lines to put the fire out. We'll pull it out and put it right here. So this is all just our medical emergency stuff. We have lots of stuff in here. A clipboard so we can take notes. We have our personal protective equipment. So whenever we go to a medical emergency, we want to wear some gloves and maybe a mask because of COVID. So if somebody wasn't breathing on their own and we had a medical emergency, we would hook a mask up to this bag and hook the oxygen up to the bag. And then we could give this person oxygen and breaths from the bag. So because they couldn't breathe on their own, so we would help them breathe with these. It's kind of like a big first aid kit, you could say. So there's band-aids in there and lots of bigger bandages and stuff like that. If people hurt their arms, we can put them in a splint and keep their arm up from them moving their arm. So that's just kind of our big first aid kit, you could say, for you guys, and you can look at it. So this is the backpack of air that we have to put on. It's called a self-contained breathing apparatus. So essentially it's just a personal air bottle for each firefighter when they go into a fire. And what we do is we would put it on, and it's really heavy. I'll let you hold it after if you want. So we would put it on, and we would have our firefighting gear on before we put it on. And we would tighten up all the straps. And then what we would do is get a mask. And I'm not going to put this one on because I'd have to clean it and all that stuff, but we would put the mask on, and then our air line would connect to the mask. And that's how we get air from the bottle to our face, and we don't have to breathe in all the smoke. We get clean air.
Does it have an on-off switch, or is it like always on?
It does, yeah, and it might be loud for you, but I can turn it on. So now it's on, and I'll show you that the air can flow through there. We turn this valve here. That air would fill the mask and essentially create a positive pressure inside the mask. So it would fill the mask with nice clean air, and there would be so much pressure in there that the smoke would not be able to get in on the cracks. And so that's a safety alarm. If we were to be still for a certain amount of time, the pack would sound. So if there was a firefighter that fell down and was unconscious and couldn't get up and didn't know where he was, and he just laid still like that, then the alarm would go off, and then we would know that we had a firefighter down and we would need to help him. That alarm you just heard at the end, that's our low air alarm. So if the bottle is really low on air, it lets us know, hey, we only have a certain amount left, so you need to get out from where you are right now and just get to safety as quick as possible. Would you like to hold the pack to see how heavy it is? I can help you if you want. Do you want to try and put it on?
No.
I'll hold it up for you if you want. Do you want to see how heavy it is?
Okay.
Whoa.
Pretty heavy. Now can I try?
You try and lift it up. Yeah, it's pretty heavy, isn't it? So we have to wear that. Oh, you got it. Good job. Pretty heavy, eh? Yeah, so we have to wear that on our back, and all of our firefighting equipment, which is pretty heavy as well. Once you put everything on, everything's pretty heavy, and it gets a lot warmer in there than it is out here. Large diameter intakes, that's to get our water into the truck. And then we have a couple smaller diameter discharges to get water to our fire hose. And then we have all the storage of all this hose on our truck as well. So we have lots of the 4-inch, and that stuff is the 2.5 inch. And then we have the smaller ones, the 1 3/4 inch.
Is that a fire hydrant?
No, so that's called a gate. We would call that a gate. And when we go to a fire hydrant, we have to turn the whole hydrant on. But if we put the gate on, we can turn the fire hydrant on with that gate. So we can either close it or shut it. Yeah, so this is called our pump panel. So the driver of the truck will go to a fire scene. He would be the one operating the pump panel. So when we get out to a fire scene, the driver will put the truck into, it's called a pump gear. So it won't drive away on its own, but in turn it'll drive the system inside the truck to get water out of the tank with the hose line. So the pump operator is what we call them. All those little discharge lines and stuff I showed you on the back, you can control those by opening them from here. So if we were to push these buttons right now, we could get water out of the truck. Because it's on there so tight, and there's lots of pressure in there, we want to make sure it's really tight. So in order to get those off, we wouldn't be able to use our hands to get these ones off. We would have to use this mallet, and we would just hit it and hit it and hit it till it's loose enough, and then we would take it off with our hands.
This.
Yeah, so so those ones will control if we follow the lines here. So see this line? Kind of goes into the truck right at the front. So if we go to the front and we open this one up, that's like our big map on there. So that would go to this hose line right here. See the orange line? This is orange, and the line on there was orange. So we would know that that orange one would get water to this hose line if we were to push the button and open it up. Yeah, so there's the green. And if you follow the green on the map, it'll show you that it comes right beside the orange one. The same thing if we follow the map, so the yellow one there. This is for a 2.5 inch hose line, so the bigger one, the bigger yellow one I was showing you. Then we have some extra ones in here for the smaller little ones. So this would go on the end of one of the smaller hose lines we have. And from these we can control how much water we want to go to the hose line. In case we need to block the roadway, or just redirect traffic into a different way, we would put some cones out so everybody's safe.
One?
Nope.
Always going to be.
Well, it just depends on the situation, and we'll decide which truck we need to take from there. But typically this would be our second truck that would go to a fire. And again, this is just extra hose that we have. This is that large intake hose I was telling you about to get lots of water. And then we have our spare air bottles on here in case we run out of air and we need another one when we come out of the fire. We put another one on and we can go back in. We'll have those self-contained breathing apparatus, our air packs, built into the seats. So we can, when we're going to a fire and we know there's a fire, we can put those on and be ready when we get out of the truck. We have our radios up there for communication. And then we have those extra masks. They're in those red bags there, those masks that we put on to go in the fire.
I see.
Pretty big back there, eh?
Yeah, I see.
What's that, sorry?
Thank you very much, Mike, for the wonderful tour.
You're very welcome. Thank you all for coming. We really appreciate having you.